Welcome to Managerial Finance, the MBA program at Thomas More College. Basically want to go over some of the basics of how the course is going to be administered. The description of this course is it is a decision-making course. We're going to concentrate on the theory, the concept at least, that managers want to make decisions and use strategies that they feel are going to enhance shareholder value. We will apply some, obviously, domestic, but there will be some international input into some of the content. The basic course concepts or topics, we're going to do some financial statement analysis. We're going to analyze a company. There'll be some financial planning topics, valuation of securities, capital budgeting, which is nothing more than a valuation exercise, but instead of the valuing a security like a stock or a bond, we will be evaluating and determining the value of corporate projects. And then finally, we're going to look at long-term financial decision making, reflecting more, where do we get the money to do all these things? What is the financing choices that are made by management? And intertwined in all of these topics is the concept of risk and return. So we will obviously delve into some of the theory and some of the concepts behind evaluating and valuing the riskiness of projects. The basic outcomes, these are the basic outcomes for our program at Thomas More. Students should be able to develop financial models. They should be able to evaluate or create a variety of techniques to analyze corporate information. They need to understand the challenges of funding. Where the money comes from? How do we fund the operations and growth of a corporation? And then we'll also look at how do we actually explain the process? How do we develop that tool to analyze the financial statements of a firm? The course materials for this program are primarily found in the Thomas More Learning Moodle Course Management System, sometimes referred to as our LMS, or our Learning Management System. In addition, we're going to have access to a software package that's published by the textbook of the company, and this is done seamlessly through the Moodle system. So it's a one-click system. Once you've signed into the Moodle course, and once you have logged into the first time the publishing company's software, you'll never have to log into that again. It will seamlessly go back and forth between the two projects, the two products. We're going to look at a lot of videos. I believe that videos are very helpful. Number one, giving you maybe some review before the class starts, giving you an alternative point of view, if you will, of the project, of different topics. So we'll watch a lot of videos. An Excel workbook is provided that's going to help you with the completion of the analytical components of the course. Finance is a very quantitative discipline. So the challenge I think that a lot of people have is that a lot of people aren't numbers people. So what I've done is I've provided a workbook that hopefully will assist you in answering quantitative problems, developing some quantitative thought, but yet not actually do much of the math. So hopefully this works out. For about 99% of the class, it works very well. There's always a few people that still have challenges because of their mathematical block, if you will. There'll be several different types of class activities. You should expect to spend between 16 to 20 hours a week completing the assignments for this course. That includes the 4 hours that you're going to be with me, and that should include at least I would think 2 to 4 hours that you would spend working with your group. So again, that leaves you what, about 8 to 10 hours of individual preparation, and then 8 hours either in group and or in class. The basic activities are the quizzes. Every chapter will have a quiz, and there will be homework assignments. Some of those homework assignments are prepared on a Word document that's given to you by the instructor. Some of those assignments are actually directed via the Moodle system that will take you to the publishing company's learning management system. Again, it'll just be a seamless transition. And there also will be some discussion articles. Most weeks will have either a paper that you'll write based on an article or a video, and you'll just write a short little summarization. Some of the assignments will give you questions to answer, and some of them will just ask for synopses and opinion of the articles or the videos. In addition, we're going to do some group research. We're going to follow a company and do a financial analysis of that company's financial statements. Obviously, more of that to come. The quizzes, again, each chapter is going to have a quiz. The quizzes are timed. The students, it says here you can take it twice. Let's just do that once. That's a misprint. We're just going to take one quiz. Each time you'll be able to take it one time. And at the completion of the quiz, you'll be apprised of your grade, and you'll have the ability to review that quiz. For homework, most chapters have a set of homework assignments. We've already talked about that. They're either online through the Finance Lab, offline using Word documents, and there'll be the discussion articles and videos. So how about that homework, right? So here we go, My Finance Lab. You're going to take these assignments. You can take these twice. The assignments usually aren't very long. They are usually 4, 5, 6 homework problems. But the LMS also is going to give you the ability to ask some questions. If you're having problems with answering one of these, you can ask My Finance Lab to help you solve some of these problems. Now, if you ask for help, of course, you don't get the full credit for the problem. So I believe if you ask the first time, the first thing costs you 10%. Grades are going to be provided, obviously, upon the completion of each assignment, since they're done with the My Finance Lab product. The offline assignments are Word documents. You're going to complete those documents and upload them to the instructor. When I grade these assignments and I send them back to you, the grade will obviously accompany those assignments. The discussion articles / videos. Each week you're going to be asked to respond to some kind of an article or video. There'll be questions sometimes posed by the instructor. Grammar and spelling count. Citations are required where necessary. And the student, obviously, you upload that Word document when the task is completed. And then when I grade it, I will return that document to you. With the group research, again, we're going to follow a real company. Each week there'll be Word documents are provided that give you the tasks that are required for each one of those assignments. Those documents, again, are uploaded to the instructor who grades and then returns them. What are the guidelines for group work? Each assignment will have several, in quotes here, performers in rotating roles. There'll be a writer, a person who compiles the information from the group and puts the thoughts to papers. They're in charge of the timeline and getting things done on schedule. The editor is a person that's responsible for the grammar, citations, and the logical flow of the paper. Now, we have to keep in mind that after the writer has written the paper, there must be time left for the editor to do their job. There'll be a numbers person. This person is in charge of verifying basically some numerical facts and of presenting those facts in graphical form for the paper. Again, there needs to be time for this to get into the paper so that the editor can do their job as far as developing the thoughts and assessing grammar, citations, etc. And then finally, there'll be researchers. That's the remaining group members. They're the ones that are gathering the information, presenting thoughts to the group, and ensuring that those thoughts are correctly portrayed on the document. The roles that are displayed here are on the title page of the paper. Each week, the first 3 roles, the writer, editor, and the number person, have to be a different person. Each person in the group has to play one of these roles at least once. Paper length is dependent on the message the group desires to present. Grammar and proper citations are critical. They account for 20% of the grade. Content of the paper accounts for the remaining 80%. The basic requirements for these papers. Again, you need to have, I prefer Arial. I think it's a little easier to read, but you have choices between Times Roman, Arial, Tahoma, 12-point font, 1-inch margins. That's obviously 12-point font is nice because I can read that very easily. APA format is to be followed with citations. You need to. There are obviously some individual assignment instructions. Errors in spelling, again, are obviously going to negatively affect your grade. For research papers, for each paper, I'm going to insist on having a minimum of 2 outside sources required for each document. So you're going to have to do some research on these papers. In fact, I would suggest that you maybe start to work ahead to try to find information to use as we work through the weeks of this course. Those sources, those outside sources, cannot be of the form of internet sources such as Wikipedia. I mean, they can be articles, but they can't be in the form of like Wikipedia, which gives you a description that can all actually be altered by people adding information, etc. So again, the basics here are, we need to have some outside independent sources providing you information about your paper. A title page is required. It's not part of the assignment's length, right? In the top, we want the name of the assignment, my name or the instructor's name, right? You need to have the group members by role, the writer, the editor, the numbers person, and then the researchers, and then of course the name of the course and course number, and finally, the due date. When was this thing due? Group grading. This is a new venture for me, so we're going to see how this works. I think it will work fairly well. Each student is given 200 points that represent their contribution to group activities. So each week a worksheet is sent to the instructor where each student evaluates the members of their group on a variety of characteristics. I didn't write it here, but you also include yourself in that evaluation. And in the next couple slides here, we're going to talk about how this grading is actually going to proceed. So every week, you're going to send me this document. There are 5 people in our group. This is the assessment for meeting for the first week's meeting. So the first row here, meeting 1, is a attendance meeting. You get 20 points for full attendance, 10 points for tardy or only partial attendance, and you get 0 points if you're absent from the group meeting. Now, how you determine presence and attendance is up to you. If for some reason somebody's out of town and they want to do a virtual meeting, that's fine with me, as long as you are meeting with a group at a certain specific time that's scheduled for everyone. Followed by that is the role that you played that week. Again, R's for researcher, W's for writer, E is for editor, and N is for numbers. Now, once you put these numbers in for attendance, that gives you the grade for the week for meeting attendance. Then, for the next 3 categories, you're going to evaluate each member's quality of the work they provided, the quantity of the work they provided, and then the promptness of getting the assignments done. And down below here, we have a grading scale. If they're well above the norm, you should give them a 95 to 100. If they were excellent, 90 to 95. Above average, 80 to 89, etc. So that's how we ultimately assess grades. So at the end of this, you will have provided a grade for each person for that week's work. Now, this overall presentation here doesn't affect or figure into the rest of the course, but it gives you an idea of the grade that you've given that person for this week's activities. And I would suggest to you that nobody, with the exception of meeting attendance, is worth 100%. I will look down my nose pretty hard and strong at somebody that provides 100% for everybody. That to me reflects you not really understanding the importance of evaluation. It reflects to me, quite frankly, maybe a little bit of laziness in getting this job done. You need to adequately evaluate the people in your class. If they don't attend the meeting, it's pretty hard to see how they could get 100% for quality of work, promptness of work. It's not that they didn't provide it, but it's going to be difficult to explain how they could get 100% for quality of work, but they didn't go to the meeting. So again, we're going to try this out and see how it works. These 200 points are part of the overall grade for the course, or for the group grade, excuse me. How I'll be assessing this is I'll be gathering these numbers as we go along. Here is everybody in your group, and you'll notice there's 6 weeks. Everybody's going to have a line item. Everybody's going to have attendance. Here's the meeting attendance. Alexis was there 100% of the time, every meeting she was there. The first week, this is her assessment of her members the first week. Here's the second week, the third week, etc. So they have all of this assessment coming in every week. I will input those grades here, and then we will line them up, and ultimately you get these averages. So at the end, for Alexis, giving all of her work throughout the 6 weeks, there was, she got 91% of the group grade. So of the 200 points assessed, she gets 181.9 points of that. So that, again, is her grade that's input into the final grade for group assignments. And I think this is a little bit intense, and it's a little bit maybe daunting to see how this is going to work. But in the end, this is the issue. I want you to be comfortable with the grades that are assigned to people. Unfortunately, the way the process is currently set up, I believe, is set up so that anonymity is at question. So that's why people give everybody 100%. So you don't want to be the one that a group member knows how you assess them. In this instance, nobody's going to know who gave who what grade, because there's no, the assessment here in the grade book is only attached to the person that's getting assessed. There's no evaluator listed with this person. So there will be some anonymity. I mean, it can't be 100%, but you're going to email to me these. You're not going to hand them to me in class. So we will be able to function with a fair amount of people just not knowing exactly how they're being assessed. As far as the group grade. Now, in the end, when the course is complete, what I will do is I'm going to take these 6 lines for Alexis. I'm going to copy this out, put it in a spreadsheet, and then I will send that to her so that she can see how she was assessed during the week and how we came up with that final grade. I think it will work out fairly well. Again, as all experiments, the proof is in the pudding. So we'll see how that works as we go along. Quizzes are 40% of the course grade. The individual assignments are 30%. The group research is 20%. And then in-class attendance and participation are 10%. If you need to contact me, there's several ways that you can do this. Obviously, you get a hold of me through the administrative assistant. That's Beth Kester. If you don't know Beth, that's her phone number. You can obviously get a hold of me via the Thomas More email system. If you're working on a quiz or a problem in the LMS portion, there is a link that's referred to Ask the Instructor. That will send me an email with the problem that you're working on, and I can hopefully maybe help you solve the issue that you're having. There is also the opportunities for some virtual meetings or chats that are available upon your request. So we'll work on that the best we possibly can and see how this ultimately works for the class. Pretty long video, but I think we're working fairly well at getting this class started.